I thought it would be perfect to have a podcast on, sharing testimonies, experiences with God. What do? We usually want to hear others' insight, someone that's been through what we've been through. And I thought it was important not only for young women, but men as well. We all go through these things in life, and it's important just to reflect and share testimonies. That's how we learn, that's how we grow, that's how God made us. So, yeah, I definitely think it's important to really share my life and my testimonies with others. This is the Handsraised podcast. Welcome back to Handsraised. So excited for you to be joining us. It was only right for us to do a second part for starting fresh with God, and I do still want to hear your feedback. I so appreciate it for the comments and the feedback we have received. I think it's always best to share our ideas and the way we connect with God with others. I think that's what He ultimately wants us to do, is to help others seek Him. And what best way to share than what's been working for us. I always go back to the people we surround ourselves with. I think it's so important for us to choose the right people that we spend time with. We eventually become, the people we hang around with. So it's important to surround yourself with like-minded people. Surrounding ourselves with people who are seeking God and seeking to have that wholeness from Him. I think it's so important, especially for me right now at the part I am in my life. I think back and I look over my life, and honestly, the times where I felt lost, alone, all those negative feelings, I wasn't surrounding myself with the right people. I wasn't spending my time doing the right things. I wasn't seeking God. I wasn't spending that time with Him. And so I think it's so important to surround ourselves with people who are seeking God's heart and really trying to live every day seeking God. And the older I get, the more I realize how time is so precious and it goes by really fast. So surrounding yourself with, like-minded people is so important. And I can't stress that enough. And I'm sure you guys have your own experiences with that. So I really clung on to my church family, to my family during my hard times, and allowed myself to be vulnerable around them and just share, what I'm going through. Having people to hold me accountable. Am I having my small groups? Am I having my Bible study? Or even just venting and praying and having that time set aside with God. I think it's so important just to, speak to Him throughout the day. It doesn't have to be one set time, every day. I think just acknowledging Him, whether you're at the grocery store, just getting up from bed, whatever you're doing, just acknowledge Him, talk to Him. And, He wants us to know that He's there wherever we're at, wherever we're feeling. And even if you can't speak it out loud, just in our hearts, like, thank you, God, for, being here with me. I may not be feeling my best right now. I may not be feeling as confident or secure, whatever emotion you're feeling. It doesn't have to be, I know for me, I tend to feel more confident when I come to God, when I'm feeling good about myself, when everything's going good around me. But, it's those vulnerable times where things are falling apart that He wants us to come to Him even more, lean on Him, and just allow Him to work in our lives. I think it's so important for us to set healthy habits, to be intentional about our lives. It's not just work and having fun, and that is part of life, and God does want us to have that in our life. But I think being intentional and actually setting out plans for us, whether it's working out, eating better, spending time with others, that's one that I have to push myself on a lot. I tend to stay to myself and kind of deal with everything on my own, but I'm being more intentional about surrounding myself with others. And even though it may feel a bit uncomfortable at the beginning, you will see how God uses others to really flourish in your life and to speak to you. Or whether it's working out, maybe that's where you spend your time with God. Just be intentional to set healthy habits. It's so important, and it really just you'll see your growth, I think, when you start doing that. So that's another way I think is a great way to start fresh with God. And I also want to, this is one I hold close to me. I've been doing this for many years, and it's honestly one of the things that's helped me the most is journaling. And I'm sure you guys have heard that, writing your feelings down. It's one of the hardest things for me, but it's one of the, I think, the quickest way for God to get to me, because, a lot of the stuff I may not vocalize, and whether it's to him or to others, but writing it down, it really just allows you to reflect on the good things that are happening in your life. And maybe that's hard for us to reflect on, but when we see it on paper and we're like, we have so many blessings and so many things to be thankful for. Yes, life may be going crazy around us, but God is still good, and he's always with us, and he always turns everything for the good. So writing those emotions down, I think it helps just get everything out and have our own counseling session. I'm a really big fan of counseling. It's helped me in so many ways. But I think also counseling ourselves with God is so important. And I think it starts with just writing your emotions down, journaling daily. Even if it's one sentence, one word, just jotting that down, I think it helps in so many ways. So I want to challenge you guys today. Let's start writing in our journal. Let's start speaking to God on a deeper level like we've never spoke to him before. And I want to hear your feedback. Share your testimonies, like, share, and comment. I want to be able to respond and share my feedback with you.